Hi everyone, happy Saturday. Yeah, I am down to 172 pounds from a high December 26, 2024 of 318 pounds. I'll show you before and after here. And so, did I need to suffer to lose the weight? Is it necessary? Well, I can only tell you my experience, although I'm learning about some other things that, it might apply to you too, but, you can make that decision. No, I did not have to suffer. Does that mean that I sometimes go a little hungry before dinner or something for an hour and a half, something like that? Occasionally. I don't think that's really suffering. It's just normal to be hungry before a meal. Did I need to, change my patterns from a 16-8 to wait till noon, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock before I eat, and then finish up by 7 kind of thing? I learned I actually have better energy if I don't do it that way. For me, that didn't work so well. I was like trying to stay in bed as long as I could in the morning, so I wouldn't think about food and all that. And so I've learned to work with my body, listen to my body, not the mind, head cravings, head hunger kind of thing, but true hunger. And also I've learned to, match my, and I've mentioned this before, match my activity to my eating. So if I exercise a little bit more, get a lot more activity that's, like heart rate, raising the heart rate kind of thing, I do need to eat a little bit more to go with that. Otherwise my body rebels. But no, I didn't need to do a crazy diet. I needed to learn to eat balance, learn what clean really is. I think that's the biggest part. There's no suffering behind that. It's just, kind of really learning at that, and it's not that I eat completely clean, because I don't eat completely clean. I'm not trying to, again, suffer. I'm not trying to keep myself from being around people and being social. Hold on a moment. Okay. And so, and do I, have a couple tablespoons of vanilla Haagen-Dazs ice cream with some berries sometimes? Yes, I'm going to have it tonight. Do I have a cheat meal once in a while? Yes. I try to pick the better things. I've learned, lots of times what I think is going to be great is really not necessarily so worth it, because, I generally gain weight on cheat meal day. I generally eat a little bit more on those days, all that kind of thing. But no, did I need to lower my calories more than I would have liked to for a while, from, I guess it was late September through, mid-December. I was more on the low side, and that got me through a point, but I still learned how to eat and satisfy hunger within that, and not eating things I didn't like, but things I do like. But, does it mean that I eat as much starch as I used to eat? No. That I would like to eat? No, but I still do. And I can eat more nowadays. I am raising my calories now and still losing weight. I lost 2.9 pounds this last week, and I've been raising my calories. Now, I do have one day that I do some sort of a fast with food thing. This week, it's not one of those, let me pick the day that I'm most hungry, let me do something where I have lower calories and I'm eating like, or having just juice or something like that. No, it's a day when I'm not as hungry, a day when I'm not gonna have extreme activity. It matches it better, right? But this week, I had a day when I was gonna do a juice fast, and I started off with some, one of these 40-calorie energy drinks that just has a little bit of sugar in it. It's really delicious. It's a bean drink. Anyway, I went to the gym and I felt perfectly fine. I came home and I'm like, sometimes I don't even have one in a week, but I had another one. I'm like, okay. I wasn't hungry until about 5 o'clock or so. And then I was like, well, what do I want? Do I want to go with the juice, or do I want to eat? And I kind of was hungry enough I wanted to eat, And all I really had was cucumber and tomato salad and some, I believe I had watermelon. Could have been cherries, don't remember, some kind of fruit, juicy fruit. And this is not normal. I have not eaten this little for, I think I had a day in January maybe. So, 5 months ago or something like that. This is not, it just, my body didn't want it. It wasn't really hungry, so I honored that. And yeah, I dropped down into 172s and I was happy. And then I, raised it yesterday, but I kept the no starch yesterday because I figured that was a good way to raise it, but not have, this is for me. What I've learned works for me. And I ate, I was satisfied, and I lost another 0.1 pound for today. There are ways of not gaining it back after eating so little. You just have to be careful. But sometimes it doesn't always work out, but it did. And of course, raising it, I'm trying to increase my activity a little bit more too, to kind of match it up, right? But I am eating more, and I'm going to, I'm seeing how well it works. Obviously, if its scale goes up a little bit, I'm going to have to adjust things a little bit. But overall, my calories are going up, and I'm still losing weight. I have a better metabolism than I used to have. My body is, again, I eat a high carbohydrate diet. It's at least, it's rare when it gets into the 40s. I think yesterday it was like 48% of my calories were carbohydrates, something like that. It was a little higher fat. I think it was like 33% fat yesterday, something like that. Anyway, but usually it's in the 50 to 60% range, sometimes 65, but usually 50 to 60% of my calories. And I generally keep my fat below 30%. I generally keep it above 20%, but sometimes it gets down in the teens. It's just the way it is. It's not like it has to be exactly whatever. And, my protein, the more I eat, the more protein I can have. But I've learned that fructose can help you to not need quite as much protein and be okay. But I'm not talking about low protein here, guys. I generally get at least 50% of my calories from protein. And I generally get, 50, 60 grams most days. Sometimes it drops down to 45. But anyway, I have learned how to eat for satiety. I've learned to eat things that I like, but not always, I like starch, but I just don't have it as often. But I'm having it more often than I used to. These are little, it's not suffering, it's just learning to eat some things that are better for me as I'm losing weight, and learning, I'm not gonna I have to learn not to be a starchivore when I start to maintain, which won't be that long. I'm looking and noticing a few lines along the hip bones, and my spine is very, you can see the line all the way down my spine, and my measurements are getting better. My body fat percentage is in an average range, which is, it's not fitness, and I don't know if I'll ever get to the 24 and below. I would like to get to 24, 23, somewhere in there, but if I do or I don't, whatever. I'm basically, according to ChatGPT, and it's not like the end all, but it's somewhere to go for someone like me at my height. And I am large framed. I do have wide hip bones. I have wide shoulders. I have a bigger rib cage. And for me, I am at the top end of the acceptable range for someone of my age, which is 62. And I'm like, I would like to, because I know, trying to, maintain, I'm going to gain a little bit. I know that. And I don't want to be toward the top. I want to be somewhere in the middle. Maybe the lower end of the middle. But anyway, we'll see where, I don't want to, again, suffer for 5 more pounds. I'm not going to do that. If there's things I can do and it, fairly easy will come off, that's fine. But I'm not looking to be the slimmest person on the face of the earth, the person with 20% body fat. That's not really what I'm going for. I just want to look a little more toned. I want to, have some flexibility in case I, gain 10 pounds. I'm not, in an unacceptable range or something like that. But anyway, this, like I said, this is for people 60 and older, where that's kind of an issue. It's kind of a thing you can deal with, but I don't want to make it. How would I put that? I don't want to be like, oh, I'm at the top end. If that's good, I'm going to stop. That's for me. For me, I'd like to lose these last 15 pounds. I think I will like the way I look. I think I'll be a more, give myself a little leeway, because, at times I'm going to gain a little bit. It happens, and then I can be back in it. I can still be in a really good range. And so anyway, I don't suffer. I didn't suffer while doing this, except when I did stupid things, when I went on 72-hour fasts. And for me, it was stupid because I didn't lose weight except for that. I knew enough to know that I had to be careful bringing back the calories afterwards. I didn't gain weight after those 72-hour fasts, but I kind of halted my progress. I know I said this before. I did the sugar diet. Yeah, great. I lost 7, kept 5 off. Lost another half a pound in the next 7 weeks. That's when I stalled, was when I suffered. So I'm not a big proponent of that. Anyway, hold on a second. But that's what works for me. So anyway, that's all I had to say, was just giving you my perspective and my journey. I started by just eating mostly whole and minimally processed foods, and not eating ultra-processed foods at all, except for I allowed myself Diet Coke at first, and I eventually got rid of that. I felt better without it. I have fewer sweet cravings without it, and I didn't have that many sweet cravings, but I really, really helped a lot. And so that's the whole thing, is you're not going to be quite so hungry. You're going to be more satisfied on them. And I know I keep saying that, but I'm telling you, I enjoy what I eat. People do find ways to enjoy it and to cook more for themselves and eat more simply and enjoy it. So, maybe it'll work for you, maybe it won't. Thanks so much for listening, and thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Bye-bye.